Are you looking for something?
I was thinking about getting a cup of tea.
Let's do it.
Okay. Hello! Welcome to our November wrap-up.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Christeena.
And you're watching
Game of Tomes. I don't know what else to say.
I was waiting for you to say I'm Christeena, but you never say it first.
Oh, no, it feels so weird if I say it first.
It does, yeah. Let's talk about the first book that we read. Whew. This book took up a lot of our month.
A lot.
I gave it 4 stars.
I gave it 3.5.
We buddy read Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck with Shanezi over at Nezzle. We'll link her channel down below. She's pretty awesome. We had a lovely time reading this book. I think it's a very important book.
Yeah.
And I think it's so relevant today, which sucks. But John Steinbeck is an amazing writer.
Yeah.
He wrote East of Eden, which is one of my our favorite books of all time, which I would like to reread someday. And so we're trying to see what other books he has to offer.
Yeah.
The ending was just like a punch to the gut for me. The whole time I was getting sad and angry and sad and angry. With that being said, I think it was at times difficult to get through because it was so sad and angry.
Yeah.
And long-winded at times, it seemed.
Yeah.
That I'm like, okay, can we just move on now? But that's kind of like the feel he wanted. I don't know what to say.
It's a tough subject matter because you're following this family who has lost everything from the Dust Bowl, and so they moved to California.
It was called the Great Dust Bowl Migration, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or it's called that now.
Right. Everyone's just trying to find work in California, but the demand and then,
And this was before labor unions. They were just hiring the people that had migrated there for dirt cheap they were giving them too little money to live on.
They basically fought each other because it's like, well, I have this guy who will work for 40 cents an hour, which is actually a lot for that. And then someone else said, well, my family needs food. I'll work for cheaper than that. And so it just spiraled out from there. And it's such a bleak look at that. But I can appreciate that he did that. He didn't sugarcoat it, and it was definitely tough to get through at times. But it was also it made me super sad, and it made me really mad. But then there were also points where I was like, it's family.
Yeah.
And the family was just together, doing their thing, and it was touching, and the love for each other. Yeah, like Jessica said, I think it is still relevant, and I definitely see why a lot of high schools have you read it. I never read it in high school, but I could definitely see that. But if I read it in high school, I probably wouldn't have appreciated it.
I think I would have hated it. I'm so glad that I read it.
Me too.
I feel like a better person for having read it. I really do. It helped me appreciate my history and know that we still have a ways to go. And anyway, I think that's all for now. But
yeah, it's a beautiful book. We would definitely recommend it if you're looking into John Steinbeck. The next book that we read this month was The Book of Lost Things by John Conley. We actually have a review and discussion video on that. We will link below.
We both gave that book 5 stars. It was a book that we read for our book club in real life. We had the meeting last night and talked about it.
Everyone loved it.
Uh-huh.
It was all 4 stars or 5-star ratings.
Yeah. Twisted fairy tales.
Yeah. A lot darker than we thought, but
it was.
We enjoyed it though.
Yeah. A little boy has a step sibling that he kind of is jealous of and hates, and his mom has just passed away, and
his dad remarries.
His OCD is manifesting itself because of his anxiety. He ends up going into another dimension.
Yeah.
And it was a good book.
It was really, really good. And I will say, if you've tried to pick it up before and maybe found it a little too depressing at the beginning,
Make it to chapter 8.
Yeah, make it to chapter 8.
And then you won't be able to put it
If you're
down.
listening to the audio, make it past 2 hours, and it's good. I mean, it gets a lot better. Because at first we were like, this is kind of really sad.
Yeah.
But it gets so much better.
It does.
It's a great adventure.
Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful. If you would watch a review and discussion about it.
Cool. I love that book.
Me too. Oh yeah, and then I picked up Lumberjanes that Jessica read last month, and I enjoyed it. I agree with what you said. I would have enjoyed it a lot more if I was younger and read it, but I do appreciate that it's something different out there for, middle school girls
Mm-hmm.
that you can be tough and you can, like other girls if you're lesbian or bisexual or anything.
And use your brain to solve puzzles and adventures.
Yeah, it was really cute. I think I gave it 3 stars, but my biggest complaint, which it's not that bad, but I just felt like I was just getting started into it when it ended. And I was like, okay. So, I don't know if I'll continue it. I borrowed it from someone, so if they get the rest of them, I'll probably read them, but if not, then I probably won't.
Yeah.
It was cute, though. It was really cute.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Oh, Night of Cake and Puppets. What?
You guys.
By Laini Taylor.
Jessica said that she wasn't sure if she wanted to read this or not. I did, but I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did. People were saying, like, you guys should read it. It's definitely worth it. And we got it on audio, and it was so cute.
It was really cute.
What did, I think I gave it 5 stars.
I think I did too. It's a story of how Susanna and Mick got together. The narrators were so good and perfect. They had 2, a man and a woman, for Susanna and Mick, and they just have like wonderful accents and like the perfect voice, and it was just like a snowy night. She made like this treasure hunt that led to her.
It was really sweet.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Geisha Alive by Mineka. Okay. We also buddy read a book, and that was Geisha Alive by Mineko Iwasaki.
Good job.
Thank you. Iwasaki was interviewed for Memoirs of a Geisha, and Arthur Golden used parts of her life and the things that she told him in his book. And then she sued him because she said that he wasn't supposed to use her name, which he did in the in the acknowledgement, said, thank you, and, this story really is my own, but it wouldn't have been possible, blah, blah, blah. But she said she did not give him permission to do that. And he said, yes, I had written permission for him to do that.
It was settled outside of court. That was all that we got.
Right.
Basically.
So she decided to write her own memoir.
Well, and she also wasn't happy with some of the things he did in Memoirs of a Geisha either.
Right.
So the one point that I think Iwasaki tries to drive in this book is that geisha are not prostitutes. They don't sell their bodies. They do not sell their virginities. And that's one thing that she was very upset with that Arthur Golden did in Memoirs of a Geisha. In the main character, her virginity is sold to the highest bidder. That's one thing that, she tries to drive in this book, is that it's an art form for them. It's not prostitution. It's not, selling anything. It's entertainment by dancing or playing music and,
Conversation.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so she wasn't very happy with that, so she wrote her own story.
She does not talk about Memoirs of a Geisha.
Not at all. Mm-mm. Not at all. Not even in the interview in the back. We checked. I kind of wish that she had, just because we were kind of wanting, more of her opinion on that, because we couldn't find much when we researched it.
No.
But at the same time, I can definitely understand why she chose not to, because this is her book. This is her life story.
Yes.
And so she doesn't want it overshadowed by Memoirs of a Geisha, which I definitely understand.
Yeah, absolutely. She's an incredible person.
Oh gosh, yeah.
A hard worker.
Yeah.
An entrepreneur.
Yep.
She was one of the most famous geisha of her time and making the most money.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Everyone's records were kept public, and so they know who was making the most, and she was very famous. I was gonna say everyone was rooting for her to succeed, but actually she had a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
With the other geisha once she became
popular, and
they felt like she hadn't been doing it long enough to get the recognition that she got or something.
Right. I think overall I gave this book 3.5 stars, maybe 4.
I think I gave it 4 stars. But there was some stuff that I was like, that is a different culture from...
Oh my gosh,
I do not understand the way she's thinking. I do not understand why are you doing the things that you're doing. And feel
not
like
just her, but
lots of
the
people.
culture in general.
I wish that there had been
some explanation.
I was going to say, help me understand your culture better and your way of thinking better for me, poor Westerner.
Yeah.
Because I do not understand what's going on a little bit.
Yeah, we buddy read this with Nicole over at Who Picked This Book. We'll link her channel below. And she also, I mean, all three of us were really confused at some points, and that's the only thing we could chalk it up to is like, it must be a cultural thing.
Yeah.
And this book, to me, it was written very, she told an interpreter and it was transcribed.
Right.
As is. I mean, some parts are kind of like, Overall, like, I think if you've read Memoirs of a Geisha, I think you should read this.
I agree.
You can definitely tell at certain parts where Arthur Golden got his inspiration from and where he decided to take things. So it's very different, but at the same time, like, really similar.
Yeah. And you couldn't help but compare and contrast the whole time.
Yeah. I'm really glad that I read it. I think so. We recommend it.
Yes. I love this cover. She's so beautiful.
She is. Even on the back with... Oh, and it has... It has photos inside as well.
I love that. But there's her. Her as a little girl.
The last book I finished in November was The Alchemist by Paulo
Coelho.
There you go. I said Paul.
Is how I think that's Paul.
So anyway, I finished The Alchemist, you guys. So a girl in our book club loves this book. And she was like, do you guys want to read it and annotate it? And so we were like, yes, we do. I gave this book 2.5 stars, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't good. I enjoyed it. It was very cute. I understood what it was trying to say, but I feel like it wasn't the right time in my life to read it. I feel like if I would have read it in high school, I would have loved it. But being older, I was just kind of like, I get it. I understand. I really like the story. There were some really beautiful lines in here and beautiful characters, but I just didn't find myself really connecting with any of it. There's also some reference to like God and Allah and things like that a lot, and it's just kind of hard to connect yourself with that if you're not really like a religious person. I'm glad I read it because I've been wanting to read it, but I just don't think it was the right time for me to read it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read it next and annotate it. This will be the first time that she's annotated a book before me. So I'll be happy to get your written notes as I go along and ideas. Hopefully I'll like it more than you.
I hope that you do.
Yes.
I hope that you do.
Me too.
Okay.
Anyway, and then I DNF'd a book, and that was Triangles by Ellen Hopkins. It's not a book that I would read. I got that book because it was Ellen Hopkins.
And like her adult novel.
And because it was about moms and motherhood friendships. But I couldn't connect with the moms. They felt like they were from another generation. Like they were all, or like maybe I don't feel like an adult yet, but they all had teenagers who were like horrible. And one mom was just like not a good person. And it was just such a bummer. And I just didn't want to read it.
Yeah.
It was an adult novel.
Right.
And I loved her young adult when I was in high school. And it was written in that lyrical prose that she's
I was going to ask that.
so famous for. That part I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, maybe it's not the right time for me to read this book. And maybe I won't go back to it. I don't know yet. But I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
So I put it down for Little Women since we are going to read this book together. I have read only the first chapter so far.
I like your cover a lot better.
I love my cover.
I don't know where that's in frame.
Get closer. There. The only thing is that my book is coming apart and I need to get some tape for it. I love this movie. It's so good. We have to watch it.
I haven't seen it.
We have to watch it.
Yeah.
But I did get it on my Nook. I got a Nook. Our friend in book club got recently upgraded and she gave me her Nook and I have lots of new books now on it, and I got Little Women on it because this one's falling apart and it was hard to read in bed gingerly. So I got it on here.
You're so fancy. You're coming up in the world with an e-reader.
I was so happy.
I'm so happy for you.
I'm so happy. I love it.
I have not started it yet, but I'm going to after 3 Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. I got this last Christmas at our book exchange we do in our in real life book club.
Yeah.
And it's coming up again this month. So I was like, maybe I should read the one I got last year. And so I picked it up. I'm roughly halfway through it-ish. And I feel like it's just now kind of getting into the story. You know, before I was like, this follows a set of triplets, and one of them will become the queen. They all have a different power. When they turn a certain age, they have to kill the other two sisters to become the queen. It was kind of confusing at first because each chapter is a different sister, and they all talk about like their friends or whoever, and it was really hard for me to keep like all these people straight at first. But I think I'm getting a grasp on it now that I'm 200 pages in. So I feel like I've talked too much about this. It's alright so far.
Okay. I hope it gets better.
Yeah, it's starting to get really interesting. And I'm actually also listening to Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel.
Oh, yeah.
That is the second in the Themis files.
Oh, yeah, Themis files.
I only have like 3 hours left in that book, and I'm really, really into it. And the full cast, it's narrated by a full cast, and that is really, really cool. It's really crazy right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's really, really good.
Let's talk about what we're going to read in December real quick, super quick. For our in real life book club, we are going to be starting the Geisha trilogy. This is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. So look forward to that, as well as Little Women, which we will be reading together. And, we're going to be listening to Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor, which is the third book in the
Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy.
Thank you.
So we can finish that up. I'm really excited for that one too, because where the second one left off, I want to know.
Thanks for watching, guys. When you play the Game of Tomes,
You read or you die.
come be our friends. Our social media links will be in the description below.
And we hope you're reading a great book. Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, you announce us then, Smarty Pants.
Okay. It's my glasses. Feels so weird. And
Oh, that's a spoiler.
oh, sorry. Okay, never mind. I still haven't even drank it.
I haven't either. I just touched my tongue to it a little bit.
You're like, oop, oop. Not yet. Not yet.
It was sucking. It was sucking.
I'm just a little child. I don't know what to do. Blah, 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 blah. Happened. It's like I'm in the driver's seat, but I've never driven before. I always drink it like this, so I won't burn my lip at first. Books.
Don't do that to me.
I'm sorry.
All
I
right.
do though. I'm like,
What's Hopkins?
Ellen Hopkins.
Ellen. I was like Anthony Hopkins.
It follows 3 twin sisters who
Triplets.
triplets. 3 3 twin sisters. That's enough. That's enough of that. Try back.